This morning, 1 week after the House approved a bill that could potentially ban TikTok in the U.S., senators from both sides of the aisle have a stark new warning about the app.
TikTok is a grave national security threat to Americans.
TikTok is a gun aimed at Americans' heads.
Senators yesterday got a classified briefing about how TikTok...
No, it's not. Because if it was, you'd be defending it because you love guns that are oftentimes aimed directly in the heads of Americans. It's definitely not a gun aimed in the heads of Americans because you love that shit. It's so funny to say this. It's like, yeah, TikTok is a gun aimed at the head of Americans, which is why we're banning it, but not the thing that I'm using in this analogy, which we will not ban because it's good, even when it's aimed at the head of Americans. We are banning TikTok, though, because it's a Chinese gun. It's so fucking funny to me when they call TikTok a national security weapon. I watch cat videos on it. What the fuck are they seeing on there? I saw horrifying things on TikTok. You don't understand it.
Owned by Chinese company ByteDance, uses the information it gathers against Americans. One concern, that the app could be used by China to influence the upcoming presidential election.
I will say very emphatically, the American people need...
Bro, you're a Democrat. Just let the app influence people to vote for Joe Biden. Come on, dude, chill. A TikTok ban will boost Twitch viewership massively. It's going to be good for you. I don't care. I don't want it to happen. I literally openly talked about that on PR Week. A TikTok ban is literally good for my career because you have 170 million people that are going to be looking for like content. They're little content demons. They're going to look for any other application. Some of them will inevitably move here. It's going to be really good for YouTube, specifically YouTube Shorts. Having said that, however, I don't think that they should ban TikTok. It's ridiculous. Sounds a bit like Cope. If you think 170 million social media users aren't going to inevitably go to other social media platforms after their favorite social media platform is banned, I don't know what to tell you. It's just normal, especially considering that TikTok also has live streaming as well. I do still think it's really fucked up and wrong, and they shouldn't do that. I mean, I don't think ByteDance will divest from TikTok because that's insane. Why would they? The American marketplace comprises of like a tiny part of TikTok's global appeal. Why in the ever-loving fuck would the Chinese government go, okay, I guess we're going to now divest from this massively successful piece of application that we've created? It's so fucking stupid. Yeah, if they didn't do it for India, they will not do it for America. Exactly. Well, America is a little bit different because, like, dominate culture, dominate the rest of the globe. Ultimately, though, I haven't seen anything this disgusting. Like, we think we're such fucking hot shit that we literally looked at a successful app and we're like, you have to sell it to one of our guys. Come on. It's like, who the fuck do you think you are? What do you mean you have to give it to me? I like it. Give it to me now. Insane. Isn't that what China does to corporations? Yes. China builds the corporations. Yeah, it does. That part is correct. I wish America would do that too, by the way. Not the fucking Chinese corporations, though. To American corporations. Hello? I would love for these fucking decrepit vampires to actually get their money's worth by literally nationalizing Boeing, for example. We've already paid for it, and we still pay for it every goddamn day of the week. It's ours. Nationalize it now. Yes, I do want Chinese-style command economy in the United States. Yes. Is it perfect? No. Is it better than what we have, where the American government works at the behest of corporations and not the other way around like it is in China? Objectively, it's worse here in America. What is your argument to say that big government is not better than corporations? There is no corporations without big government. It's so fucking stupid. There is not a single thing in the United States of America that has been invented purely in the private sector, okay? It all relies on publicly funded research, either if we're talking about novel chemical compounds in the field of medicine or the fucking internet at DARPA. Like, there's nothing has ever been invented purely in the fucking goddamn private sector. The private sector relies on the public sector coming up with innovation so they can fucking grab onto it and then, you know, maintain a patent for as long as they possibly can as they tweak it a little bit and spend all their money and effort on marketing it to you. Spend all their money and effort on finding new ways of maintaining that patent. The worst part about it is that we get nothing in return. It's fucking bullshit. We pay the government taxes, those taxes and public funded research find new innovations. Then we pay the government again to subsidize these corporations so they can buy the fucking publicly funded research to begin with. Then we pay the private corporations again while simultaneously paying the government through a sales tax. It's ridiculous. Then we pay the private corporation a price to get the thing that we paid for, that we were responsible for the creation of, the innovation. Then we pay the private corporation again and again and again and again and again. And then the private corporation goes and takes all the extra cash they have on hand and buys back their stocks in what used to be illegal, stock buybacks, that is not illegal any longer. Shouts out to Ronald Reagan for that one. And then when they have a fucking budget shortfall as a consequence of, you know, doing that thing instead of, like, I don't know, upping their quality assurance, for example, like Boeing, as they constantly outsource, constantly fucking cut different parts of the production and assembly lines and offshore it, or delegate the responsibility to a third party that's going to do it for half the fucking price because they don't have that same level of quality assurance and they're not unionized, but the profits are going up. When that happens and they fucking go under, the American taxpayers bail them out again and again and again and again, and the cycle continues. I would much rather have a Chinese-style system. A company is failing due to malpractice, negligence, executive corruption. You fucking single out the executives that were responsible for it. You conduct an investigation. You bring them to the people's square and you them, depending on the severity of their crimes.
Hear what we've just been told, because they would be deeply frightened.
ByteDance denies sharing Americans' data with the Chinese government. TikTok has urged its 170 million users in the U.S. to contact their lawmakers to oppose the bill passed by the House.
The other part of this conversation that's really stupid, like our politicians just completely fail to consider, and I think it's really, really dumb, is one, the obvious side of it, the treats. You can't take the treats away. TikTok is a treat. Okay, you take a treat away, Americans are going to get pissed off because this entire global genocidal project falls apart if we can't have immediate gratification. Okay, the other part of it is that there's a shit ton of small business owners on TikTok, dumb fuck. The fuck do you think they're doing? 170 million user base in America. Do you know how many fucking small businesses started on TikTok? You dumbass. It's like one of the only fucking avenues where people can still make money. You know what I mean? Where do you think all these fucking drop shippers are coming from? TikTok is profoundly important. An entire generation of small business owners, like millions. And those guys vote. Yeah, petite bourgeois. Exactly. That has a major political price. It's not just fucking, you know, TikTok is not just like glitter conspiracies and ice giants existing in the real world, for sure. It definitely is massively important for millions of new small business owners. TikTok bypassed Alibaba in e-commerce market share for people who are doubting you. Yeah, I mean, that's global. The reason why I'm bringing up the small business owners is not because, like, I'm saying, oh, the petite bourgeois, they are so important. The American small business owners, they're so important to the American backbone. Like, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying small business owners vote. For a massive number of Americans, TikTok is a treat. You can't take the treats away. That's going to be frustrating for them. And for an even more important, politically important group, you have small business owners.
Does it actually help their case? It hurts their case.
The bill passed by the House would force ByteDance to sell the app or face a ban in the U.S. Still no word if the Senate will take up that bill, but there appears to be growing support for some sort of action later this spring.
The content on TikTok in China is pushing things like math and science and education and hard work.
Why don't we do that? That's not what this bill is. This bill wouldn't change that. We can't do that, by the way, because we have First Amendment. That's not what this bill is at all, though.
And discipline. And here in the United States, the Chinese Communist Party is pushing things to our kids like self-harm and suicide.
Senators are now considering holding a public hearing on the TikTok bill. Congress returns from spring break April 8th.
The video Congress put forward as evidence. Oh.
早上好，中国！现在我有明确令。You are becoming more and more loyal to the CCP. China, good. Communism, good.
This is what happened to me, honestly. Like, this is literally what boomers think is going on, which is funny because, like, I'm doing that at twitch.tv/HasanAbi every fucking day, like, unironically.
America, bad. CIA, bad. ASIO, bad.